guys, good evening everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday episode of our daily stock market insights. And in today's session, I just want to quickly touch on where we are at right now in terms of the pandemic. And I was reading this article in Bloomberg. It says Chinese county back under lockdown after coronavirus cases re-emerge. Um, this one I think happened when a resident visited a doctor, and then the doctor was carrying that virus asymptomatic, and that started it all. So as a result, the entire city or entire Gia County was placed on a lockdown, and we're currently on the verge of another wave of the pandemic. At the same time, here in our country, we're already averaging at a thousand level per day for the new cases. And also, just if I may share, you know, previously we were talking about this, and it's just like something that you think will happen to someone else, but not to someone you know. It's just starting to sink in now, knowing the fact that a colleague and a colleague's relative have been infected by the virus, and we even had last week a colleague who died because of the virus. He's from Cebu. So I think this pandemic is really starting to bite, reality bites. It's starting to hit us. And the reason why I said this is because relating it to how our market is performing, we don't really see, you know, the prices moving higher, even though sometimes you already see that the chart would already suggest that it could potentially bounce or it could potentially do a breakout. But I think most of us are on the defensive side when we do our trades. So those are just my two cents why we don't really see the market really moving forward uh, at a pace we want it to be. It's still moving very, very slowly. Let's see how the chart performed and the index performed in today's market. Let me see. So while I load this, so again, it's 10:22, and we're a bit late because every Tuesday, Tuesdays are normally our business review day, and we normally end around this time. So that's the reason why Tuesdays are normally late. What about the index? Okay. So as you can see, hopefully this pattern that we see in the index is going to materialize, because right now I see it already. This is already a sign of bounce, and we have established a support around the 6,100 level. So I'm hoping that it will continue to move higher. Um, Again, let's see how each stock is performing right now. But knowing that the index is starting to recover, what we want to see is this challenging the 6,500 level again. Well, I see a resistance here as well in the short term. So not 100% sure if investors and traders are again going to be defensive and will be taking profit in those slight bounces that we are experiencing. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about your requested stocks here. So these stocks came from the comments that I received in my previous video. So my recommendation, guys, if you um, send your request, drop a comment on the latest video. That way I will see it right away. And sometimes I do record a part two, but if I'm not able to do record, normally your requests will be my priority the following day. And this is what I have so far. Okay, so don't hesitate to drop a comment because definitely I read all of them. And when I put a thumbs up or a heart, that means I already took note of your request. All right. So let's talk about your um, APVI, which really had an interesting move today. Where's that watermark? I don't like the watermark. All right, APVI. There. We had a ceiling today for APVI, and one thing good that I've noticed here is the volume that's also increasing. That means more and more people are also showing interest and starting to accumulate volume here. And so we're not 100% sure if tomorrow would be another gap up day and another ceiling play. It might look just pretty small right now, knowing, you might be deceived, right? That hey, it's just a small difference in the price, but come to think of it, this stock on the first day really massively went up to 2,000. How many percent is this? This was a climb of oops price. It's not showing there. This was a 92. Oh no, hold on. An increase in price by what's happening to our marker. Okay, this is a 92.23% increase in the price. No, hold on. Why does it show like that? It's not 92%. Okay, so it's a 1,204% increase in the price on the first day. So you might notice that, oh, it's only a big difference in the price. But in reality, that is already 100% increase from the bottom that you have here. So just be extra careful if you still would like to trade this. Know that technically you are already at a uh, you know expensive level, not unless the true value of this stock is indeed at the 240 level, which I doubt. Okay, so just be extra careful. We don't really know tomorrow if there's going to be another gap up, but I like the volume of that we have right now. So please be extra careful. Be extra careful with what we call a FOMO level, fear of missing out. So if you want to trade, make sure to monitor the market, and yeah, if possible, if you are happy with the gain that you have, go ahead and lock in some profit or exit your call. But definitely just be extra careful because you will never have a stock who doesn't retrace. At one point, a stock will retrace. Okay, so that's it for APVI. My 2 cents. Monitor the performance the entire day, because sometimes what will happen is first 30 minutes, first hour of the day goes 50%, and then last hour of the day, that's when they dump it and then take profit. And if you're not watching the market, then you're stuck there at the top. Okay, so that's it. Next would be Dito. Dito is still very close to the resistance level that we have here. Um, for me, I think this is we might face a possible retracement soon, just in case this two red candlestick will uh, experience some breakdown in price. But you know what's interesting here is the 2.7 million foreign buying that happened today. So it might even move the price higher here. So just closely monitor this. Same message as the previous one, because of two things. Okay, number one, because the price right now is very near the resistance. Second reason is, as you can see here in our RSI, you are already at overbought level, which is technically at the expensive side. When it's at the oversold, that means the price is already cheap. Okay, so if by tomorrow we still see probably another red, uh, make sure to start taking profit, part of it, if you're not a long-term investor, and let's say you're already profitable, right? But if you are a long-term investor, just stay still. It's still not a taking day. If this third telco goes live or they become fully operational, there's a big possibility that this is not the only price that it will reach. It could be potentially be higher than this level. Okay, but note that it doesn't go up in a straight line. There will be fluctuations in price, and you might encounter that one of these days. Okay, because technically in the mid to short term, you're already at a resistance level. I see a resistance. I think I plotted it and I erased it, around um, this level. Okay, 394 to 4 peso area. So those are the key areas to watch out for. In case it declines and retraces, the possible drop would be around 3.43. I'll change this to, I like the pink. Okay, so if it drops 3.43, reason being is I see this area as well as your possible previous resistance, previous support over here, and when it drops, most likely it will stabilize there. Okay, and just continue to request this stock so that we have daily cadence in the performance or movement of this particular company. The next one is Mac. Okay, so looks like we had a good bounce. For me, this is already a confirmation of imbalance for Mac. The area where we plotted as our support level sustained. So good job. I feel that uh, in case the some people will take profit, it might potentially test your 6.12 level between 6.12 and 6.55. For me, is already an okay price as an entry, right? The overall, I still see this as a cheap level, but also take a look at the news because that part I haven't read. 6.12 level is our support area. JFC, oops, yeah, JFC is next. Okay, JFC is for me it's already a bounce because there was a support in this area previously, and look at that support, another support built here, and this used to be a resistance. There you have it. That used to be a resistance. This one I'm still plotting it here in the 133.87 because I saw this in this, even though um, the drop in the price for the past 2 days is, slightly higher than the line. It's just fine. It's an area anyway. So for me, if you are going to ask me, current price between 133.87 to 140 is already a good area to start accumulating. Okay. VLL. It's not. Why can't I remove this? All right, for VLL. Oh, where could it possibly drop next? We're sitting at the below the MA20 line. But let me go ahead and check the weekly chart. Okay, so I don't like what I'm seeing right now in a weekly chart. So I think there might be a possibility that you can get this at a lower price, perhaps around 3.37. Um, and by that time, you already have a triple bottom. And let's see how your RSI is going to move. Right now, your RSI is still moving upwards. So I suggest just wait for that drop to happen. I feel that 3.37 is still a possibility. You can reach that. That means it's cheaper entry than the current price right now. Just wait for that time to happen, and chances of it happening is high at the moment because we're already below the MA20 level. Next would be Meg, one of the blue chip companies. Okay, I like this. This for me is a bounce. Um, we're already, look at this. This one used to be your resistance, right? Obviously there. Um, and Here, there was a slight overshoot the previous day, and we managed to recover right away in today's performance. But 2 days prior uh, to this day, it was respecting this area as a support. And with the engulfing green candlestick that we have right now, I feel that we will see some more movements pushing the price higher. In case there will be fluctuations, it will just stabilize at the 3 peso area. Looking at how the chart is forming right now. Okay, well, interesting. Only a 7% drop, unlike the other companies where you see 100%, 200% drop in revenue. Okay, so that's Meg. What about Tel? Tel is still doing sideways. Looks like this is still steady at the resistance level. However, I'd say be very careful because right now this is the first resistance or the nearest resistance that I see, and then 1221 would be the nearest support that I see. Um, Two things can be you can have two strategies here. You can either do range trading in case it revisits the 1221, enter around that area, and then exit here. Otherwise, if you want, you can wait for a breakout play. If the price starts higher than 1273, chances are you are now going to have a brand new wave pushing the price higher, and then probably at one point it will retrace and then continue the increase in price. At the moment, yeah, let's just watch out for these two levels for now. That's the nearest areas. Those are the nearest areas where you will see possible change in directions. Next would be Mary Mart. Okay, Mary Mart managed to recover and bounce. I think this is their nearest support. It respected this line over here. On the third day, it created the at one point dropped to this level. So that for me is a support right now, 3.21. So in case some people will take profit, try out the 3.21 level. Just be sure because this is the, um, you know, there's no trend established yet because it's less than 20 days. Let me see if you change this to 9. How long? If Yeah, in the 9-day moving average, this is the MA9, and it created a you know it respected that level. So I feel that that will be a support area indeed. So we're right. 3.21 is our nearest support. Nearest resistance, if you're going to ask me, um, around 379. And of course, the next one could be here. But I'm not going to talk about that yet because that's still far from uh, where we are at right now. SSI. SSI still doing sideways. But let us see. Your candlestick here right now is creating a support in the 1.11 area. Okay, and we're very near that level. So my take on this is that I feel that it will respect the area. However, wait for that green candlestick to come out. Probably start the price at 1.11 and then move the price higher, resulting in a green candlestick. Uh, that, that by that time, when you see that coming out, then that would be a good confirmation of a bounce. Let's take a look at SCC. SEC still respecting the MA20 line, even though you see a slight drop from where we are at right now. It somehow stabilized at that level and created a support. Um, and it is still respecting that level. So use 12.52 as our support area. And I don't know, maybe it will create a resistance here, 1350. There. Because there's a drop here and then this one too. So observe how the price is moving or reacting around 1252 and 1350. For now, I say 13 or 1252 is our support. Okay, there will be a possibility that it will move higher. DNL. DNL is, this is the support that I see, 482. 4.82. So I think it will still, because there's not much volume here. It will just do sideways within this range before it takes off fully. How far are we from the top? So this could be probably from here to here. That is a 55% increase. Let me just do it the other way around. Oh, 126. 126%. So where are we now? So let us say if we're currently in this level. So if you enter right here and you wait for the price to go up to this level, that's an 88% possible gain against a drop of around, that's your risk level, 13. But we don't really know how long it'll take for the price to go back to this level. As I mentioned when I started this video, I was just contemplating and evaluating on how this pandemic is progressing, and looks like road to recovery is still a long way uh, to take on. Okay, so don't expect, just manage your expectations. Even though we have entered at a low level, don't expect for these stocks to recover right away. And those are just my 2 cents. You can have your own perspective towards the companies you have engaged in. So my recommendation is take the time. Okay, invest in really in reading the fundamentals of the companies you are partnering with, because only the more stable ones right now and only those businesses that address or that cater to the basic needs are the ones thriving at the moment. For instance, I have not seen, I'm going to discuss it later, but PureGold, for example, SM. So these are companies that are still operating because we just need to buy groceries, right? So try to consider those things when you partner with companies or when you invest in companies. Take a look at their business model. Is this a business that will still survive despite the pandemic? One perfect example between Pure Gold and Cebu Pacific, uh, I'd go for Pure Gold. Okay, between what? What are the hotels um, associated? Bloom? I'm not sure. For example, a hotel versus JFC. I'd still go for JFC because even though that is not a basic need, I mean, eating food is a basic need, but people have options on the food that they will consume. But Jollibee is still under the food category, and people are still going to buy, right? They will not go to hotels right now because uh, people are trying to budget their money, and that's it. Okay, see the difference. So going back here, um, so right now, we are still at a cheap level, but try to understand the business model of DNL and see if this is something that will really take off soon. How long will it take off? And see the financial health of the company. So far, if you believe in the fundamentals, we are at a very cheap level, and this could looking at it. Okay, some people might take profit and touch the 4.82 level just to test the support, but soon there's a possibility between the price dropping and between it going up. I have more sentiment in the price moving up. Okay, just looking at the chart. Cebu Pacific. Okay, Cebu Pacific is still stabilizing in this range. It could even drop up to the 36.18 or 35.96 only because I see this. But it's trying to create a support in this area as well. But if it is going to show us some confirmation, then that could be a support indeed. But just in case it drops, next possible drop would be 35.96. Okay, so this is where we are currently at. Okay, just in case worst comes to worst, it might also challenge this level, 31.28. And if that happens, see how your RSI is going to react in these key areas. If it's going to give us a bullish divergence, when I say bullish divergence, price is moving higher while we are doing a double bottom, and that would mean a possible area of bounce if you see the same pattern here. GTCAP. For GTCAP, it is 447. Current area right now is creating a support, right? This used to be a resistance. It was challenged here, so probably that could be a support area. It used to be a resistance here as well. So potentially we are really establishing a support in this level. So anywhere from here to 454 is still a good entry. MBT, one of the stable companies here as well in the country. This is the support, 36.37, 36.12. It's still technically we're still on sideways here, right? Um, it's retesting this previous support over here. So I think with the current uh, pattern of our candlestick today, I think there's a possibility that we might see a possible bounce in tomorrow's market or in the coming days. We are very near a support area. The next one is PXP. Oh no, PXP, look at that. It's attempting to retrace. So be extra careful. We could possibly drop at the 5.89 before we go here. Let me just plot that. 5.91. The reason why I plotted it there is because I saw this level. This used to be a support, and there was a price breakdown, and then it created a resistance here. So chances are it will go here and then bounce. If that breaks, then next drop would be your MA20 line. There you have it, 5.53 level. But overall, I see it declining more than it bouncing. MRSGI. Oh no, I don't like what I'm seeing. Um, Reason being is it created a lower high. Oops. This one. That's your trend line. That's your resistance at the moment. So if this area does not hold, then it might create a lower low. So if it creates a lower low, then that means no, we're going to see some more declines in the coming days. But right now, follow this created line here. That is your trend line. That is your resistance at the moment. But sometimes we also break out of that, and then when that happens, you will have a new wave. Okay, you will potentially have a breakout play there. So let us say tomorrow it starts higher than the MA20 or 160 or higher, then that's a good sign. You are now breaking out of that downward trend. Okay, and then the nearest support I see is 1.53. MBT, I already did that. Maxis. Okay. Maybe it's trying to test this level. Um, there used to be a support here, so let's just move that a little closer. There you go. Used to be a support here as well. Tested here, and then price drops here, moves higher, and then it tried to retest this level. So 5.39 is currently the area I'm looking at. But look at this though. I don't like this kind of pattern. It's not showing a bullish divergence. But if you see another green candlestick forming in this level by tomorrow, um, that would mean it is respecting the support area we have plotted here. Because somehow, even though this is not fully engulfing the last day's red candlestick, if we start another day with probably a green one, that could already mean a possible bounce. But normally, if you just follow the concept of a Bollinger Band trading strategy, um, for instance, this price starts to trigger the lower Bollinger Band. The goal there is to confirm that there is a bounce. The next 3 days, this is day 1, day 2, and then day 3. Between the 3 days there, the price should end much higher than this point. And then only then you can already confirm that there is a bounce. Okay, so for now, that's the support we are looking at. Pure gold. Wow. So we somehow retraced, but the retracement didn't go all the way down. I think it will create some brand new highs here. Let's just see. Okay, so far this is the resistance that we are looking at. Yeah, it might challenge this level first because I see this. Okay, but it's very near to the next possible resistance that we have there. Look at this. There used to be a resistance here, so when we go back here, so it might push the price higher, which is how much? That is, wow, very close. um, I plotted it by 6% from where we are at right now. So far, in case you would like to ask the nearest support that we have here, I'd say let's just follow the MA20 line. Potentially it will respect that because whenever we are moving higher than the MA20 or any MAs, normally it creates a support area at that level. One thing good that I like in this setup is, you see foreign buying that happened today. So let's observe by tomorrow. The next would be X. X is still doing sideways here, but so far it is respecting your MA20. 0.58 area. That is it. Okay, so anywhere from 0.58 to 0.61, that should already be an okay price to enter. So far, this price has already declined a lot, and you are already at the lowest point of this price, almost at the lowest point because your bottom is here. um, I just feel that we're just doing sideways. People again are just a little bit on the conservative side or on a defensive mode in all their trades. That's why this is not taking off as of yet. I'm not sure though of any news related to this, but if there are really no negative news around it, then it's just market sentiment being extra careful with their trades. AEV. Looks like it is creating a support in the area, right? For 4 days straight now, this level, each time it gets hit, it's just bouncing. So it's also possible. Just observe if the bounce is going to uh, materialize in tomorrow's performance. There used to be an accumulation here as well, so I think that will strengthen the area where we plotted as a support. This one as well used to be a resistance, and the price dropped at this level. So I think, yeah, um, now I feel strongly about this area. 44.95 to 45.5 would be an okay price to try out. SEC, we already did that. What about MWIDE? MWIDE looks like, yeah, it is respecting your MA20 line in an ascending uh, movement. So just use your MA20 level. The nearer you are to the MA20 line, that would be a better entry. But for now, if you're to ask me, the nearest resistance is at this level. I see this part over here as your resistance, this one as well. So I feel that it will challenge that first. I'm not saying it will not break that, but Perhaps the first red candlestick that you see around the 8 peso level, use that as a sign of weakness. That would be your trigger to start taking profit. SECB, last stock, is still stabilizing. Hopefully it holds at the oh no, look at that. Try to zoom in. We're slightly lower than the MA20, as you can see, right? But just take note that I see a support in the area as well, around 101.10. No, 101. 100. That's the next support that I see. I think it's giving us those obvious lines there. This one as well, and this area. So it might probably touch the 100 level and then it bounces. Let us see. Because if it breaks, there's a big chance that it will challenge your previous resistance here, which will probably create a support in that level first. So these two would be our next areas of support. Okay, so there you have it. My mini notepad over here. So those are the stocks that we have reviewed today. Again, guys, with the current movement or progress in the pandemic, I feel that it will really take a long time before we see full recovery in the cases, and unless we are still seeing high count of new cases every day, I feel that the market will still be moving on a defensive mode. You will see resistances not successfully breaking out, movements in the volume for all the trades. You'll see it slimming down. So my recommendation in general term is, if you're happy with the profit that you already have, don't expect big profit like 30-50%. Don't expect that to happen within a day. Protect your capital. If you're happy with the profit, 10, 11%, 12%, that's fine. Go ahead, start locking in profit. And at the end of the day, you're the only person who knows your risk and reward tolerance. Okay. In the meantime, I hope you're able to gain some insights from our session today. If this is your first time to watch our video, I'm doing this every day, guys. I do this first for myself because to gain a skill, we have to do this every day. At the same time, I involve you guys so that we are doing this together and we learn from one another. From your comments, I also learn. And yeah, I'm starting to build this community or a small network so we can share best practices here. You're always welcome to share your thoughts as well. Just drop a comment. Okay. Go ahead and subscribe if you have not subscribed yet. Hit the notification bell so you're always updated, and drop a comment for the requests that you have. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and bye bye for now.